What is going on, everybody? Kyle Murray from FTN Daily back again with the PrizePicks Prop Show. It is Wednesday, so you know what that means. We have some PGA picks for you. I know you guys are probably looking for some NBA as well. Obviously, NBA started last night. So if you're looking for some NBA picks, head over to the FTN Daily Pick Tracker. It's free every single day. I'll have tons of picks in there throughout the course of the season. Last night we went 4 for 5 in the first NBA video of the season. But we're going to be talking some PGA here. Obviously, we're kind of in a good spot in terms of the time of year where we have so many different sports going on. So no better time to be subscribed to the FTN Network YouTube channel where we cover all tons of different sports. Me's gonna start rolling out NHL videos. We'll have NBA, PGA, NFL. So make sure you guys are staying up to date with that by hitting that subscribe button. Now, before we get started with these picks, make sure if you're a new user, head over to PrizePicks, use that code FTN, get yourself a 100% match up to $100. You deposit $100, you get a free $100. Who doesn't like a free $100? Now, let me know in the comments below, who do you think is going to win the CJ Cup this week? The CJ Cup in South Carolina at South Carolina. I'm not sure. They moved the tournament from Vegas the past couple of years over to South Carolina now, and they threw South Carolina in the name somehow. It's either in South Carolina, at South Carolina, whatever it may be. Who is going to win the tournament this week? My pick would probably be Rory if I had to take one. I'll talk more about him. A little bit of a spoiler, he is in one of these PrizePicks plays. But let me know who you have in the comment section below. I'm curious your guys' takes on who's going to win this week. We have a pretty star-studded field, so I'm very curious where you guys have your money this week. But let's get into the picks now. First pick is the guy that we just mentioned, Rory McIlroy, over 4.5 birdies or better. I absolutely love Rory. I think he's a stud. I think he's a perfect fit for this course. I think distance is going to be extremely important here. I don't necessarily think that you are ultimately going to need it on every single hole, but there are going to be a lot of holes where players who are long off the tee are going to have a significant advantage. I think there's going to be some holes where you need to be long off the tee to really have any sort of success at all, and I think that just falls perfectly into Rory McIlroy and how he plays the game. But let's talk real quick about why I love this pick so much. Looking at the hole-by-hole breakdown, the course layout, there are 4 holes that I think that Rory McIlroy can definitely take advantage of. You have 3 par 5s that are all pretty average par 5s, nothing too short, nothing too long, in between 540 and 600 yards, but nothing too crazy. So I think he can take advantage of all of those. And then there's a drivable par 4 as well. On the card, it's 345-ish. I think that potentially some days it'll play a little longer, some days play a little shorter, but out of anybody in this particular field, Rory's the guy to maybe step up there and take a shot at and drive that green. If not, I think he'll be in a good position to take advantage of that. So if he can take advantage of those 4 holes, I think he's in a really good chance and a really good spot to go over this 4.5 birdie or better number. So he's my pick to win. He's the number 1 pick in the model. He's been fantastic, right? You look at his last 5 events, he's rattled off 5 straight top 5s, 5 straight top 10s, 4 straight top 5s, including a win in there. He's just been absolutely fantastic. It's hard to say that he's not the best golfer in the world right now. And I get it. He's number 2 in the world. Scotty Scheffler still has him beat out, but it's hard to say that Rory McIlroy is not the best golfer in the world right now. He's just been playing exceptionally well. Absolutely love Rory this week. The Vegas markets like him as well. He's I think 7-1 to win this week. So got to go with Rory McIlroy. And then when you look at the numbers for some of these guys, like for example, no offense to these guys, but Billy Horschel, Max Homa, these guys, Jason Day, for example, like I could never bet Jason Day at 4.5 birdies when Rory's sitting there at the same number. Like I'm sure Jason Day will go out there and have 7 or 8 birdies on the card now, but with those guys all at the same number, Rory, best golfer in the world in my opinion right now, is going to lock that in right there. Rory McIlroy over 4.5 birdies or better. Pick number 2. The next 2 picks are going to be birdie or better matchup plays. We're going to go to Victor Hovland over Cam Davis here. Victor Hovland, I'm betting on the resurgence here. He looked good last week, top 5 finish at the Zozo Championship. And you look at the strokes gained profiles like I like to do for a lot of these players. You talk about Victor Hovland in his 2-year profile. He is one of the best golfers in this field. He is top 3 ball striker, fantastic on approach, fantastic off the tee, struggles a little bit at times around the green in his 2-year profile, but also a very good putter. And the thing about Victor Hovland that we've seen is, although he's struggled at times over the last 6 months, and the around the green play still hasn't been great, but I don't think that'll be a major area of importance this week. The putter's actually improved for him over the last 6 months compared to his 2-year profile, but you look at the ball striking, it has declined a little bit. But last week we don't have any strokes gained profile data because of the no shot link at the course, and that's actually been the case for a couple of his tournaments over the last 5-6 months or so. He's had 2 events in Europe where he actually had pretty solid starts. He has 3 top 15 finishes in his last 5 events, 5 straight top 35. So I do think that we're seeing Viktor Hovland starting to round back into form here. He's one of my favorite plays to kind of target in the betting markets, DFS, obviously here on PrizePicks as well. So Viktor Hovland, who's top 5 in birdie or better numbers over the last year. So even when he does at times play a little bit inconsistent, he definitely has that upside to go out there and make a ton of birdies. His opponent, Cam Davis, no slouch. Davis is totally fine. I think he's a good player. I think he actually fits the course decently well. But in terms of his level of kind of elite ability to go out there and score, I just don't think it's as good as Viktor Hovland. And I actually think that the things that Cam Davis does well, like hit the ball far off the tee, his approach game solid, like all the things that Davis does well, Hovland just does better, and then Hovland's a better putter. So I just like the advantage that Hovland has pretty much across the board. But final pick here, it was the first pick that caught my eye in the birdie or better matchups. I think it's probably the biggest mismatch of the week, or I guess of round 1. Fitzpatrick over Kevin Kisner. Now, in terms of, like I mentioned, this course really playing into the hands of players who can hit the ball far off the tee, and I think at times it's going to be much needed. That actually, believe it or not, it helps Fitzpatrick these days. Typically that wasn't the case over the last few years, when Fitzpatrick at times was looking like a good player, but not quite good enough to really be among the elite. That's obviously changed now. He's a top 10 player in the world. He won the US Open, and a lot of it is because the distance that he's creating with the driver now. He's now up to top 25 in this field in terms of driving distance. That's nothing elite, but in terms of the improvement that he's made, it's been game-changing for Matt Fitzpatrick. It's been phenomenal for him, so I think that's a major advantage for him over Kevin Kisner. And when you look at Kisner's numbers, he's a guy who obviously prefers the short courses where he can take advantage of that stuff that way, but he's 74th in terms of driving distance, which again is going to be needed in my opinion. And then you talk about the birdie or better numbers. Kisner still gets the job done at times with those numbers, but 27th in terms of birdie or better, nothing elite. Matt Fitzpatrick's inside the top 25 of birdie or better numbers over the last 6 months. So Fitzpatrick, I think, just again has the advantage across the board over Kisner. I think he's going to find himself at a less of a disadvantage than Kisner is with some of these long holes, and that I think Fitzpatrick will be able to take advantage of when Kevin Kisner cannot. But that's going to do it for the 3 picks for the CJ Cup this week. Let me know again, who do you have winning this week's tournament in the comment section below. We'll see you guys next week for some more PGA picks, but in the meantime, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, like the videos. We do appreciate all the support, but subscribe so you're staying up to date. We're going to have NHL, NBA, NFL picks coming out over the next few days or so, and probably every other day, or at least Monday through Friday, we're gonna have a video every single day. So make sure you're staying tuned for that. We will see you guys next time. As always, good luck, everybody.